channel. So today I'm going to be doing a story time. It's been a minute since I did a story time. I have one. It happened a while ago, but I think it's so freaking funny, and as you can see by the title, that's why you're here. You want to know my story. Let's get into it. But wait, before we get started, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I will give you 5 seconds to do that. Did you do it? All right, let's go. This tea is about a date that I had about 2.5, maybe 3 years ago. It was a while back. I met this boy at school, right? I'm in college, but this was when I was in my junior year, and I just had suffered a breakup. This was definitely a rebound date. I just want to say this boy got me when I was vulnerable as hell. He was on the football team for my school, which I was like, ooh, a football player, like he's so cute. Anyways, he hit me up. We started talking. Since we went to the same school, we did meet up a couple times. Fast forward. We went on a date. So he came, he met my mom, he met my sister, he picked me up. Now, I did not know what this date was gonna be like. We didn't plan anything out. Like, he just said, I got it, don't worry about it. The first thing we do, he tells me, we're gonna go get my phone fixed.
This guy stinks!
What? We're gonna get my phone fixed. I'm like, okay, because I'm nice and I'm so sweet. I'm like, okay, yeah, like, sure. When we got to the mall, we got into the Apple store, we were waiting our turn to get his phone fixed. I figured, like, oh, maybe we could just walk around the mall and, you know, talk, get some food, and chill, right? Like any normal people, right? When you're getting to know somebody, right? We're in the Apple store, we're waiting, and we're now looking at the entrance. Now, you know when you're at the desk in the Apple store and the people who can, like, fix your phone are right in front of you? Yeah, that was us. So they finally took his phone. We turned around to the entrance, both of us at the same time. He saw two girls at the front entrance and was like, oh shit, we gotta go. And I'm like, what? He grabbed my arm, took his phone, he's like, I'm sorry, I gotta leave. I'm not even kidding, guys. He pulled me out of the Apple store, like by my arm, and I said, oh, we're not just gonna stay in the mall? He's like, no, we gotta leave, we gotta leave. Mind you, at this time, I did not know he wanted to leave because of the two girls that just had entered the store, which was pretty stupid, but like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what's happening? Like, why, what? But once we got in the car, he's like, oh, those are my girlfriend's friends. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, he's like, those are my girlfriend's friends. I'm like, your girlfriend? He's like, yeah. Why am I here? I deadass said that. I'm like, why am I here? Like, what are we doing? I'm like, oh my God, like, no, I need to go home. He's like, no, it's not like that. We're taking a break. I'm like, oh God, why does this always happen to me? Why me, right? And I'm like sitting there in the car and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta escape again. For the second time in my life, I had to escape a fucking date. So whatever, I looked past it. Then we went to an AT&T store because he didn't want to go to the Apple store. Okay, ooh, what a good first date, right? We drive to the AT&T store. I'm sitting in the car. He didn't even want me to go into the AT&T store. I'm like, how the freak do I escape this time? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm texting. I think I'm texting my mom or my friends. I'm like, how do I escape this? Like this, that, and the third. After that, he got his phone fixed. An hour I was sitting in his car by myself. Granted, this guy doesn't know me from a freaking hole in the wall. He left the keys in the car, the radio's on. I could have took that freaking car and dipped and said, you know what, you're a shitty ass date, I'm out. But I'm a good girl, so I didn't do that. Again, I said I was vulnerable. So whatever, once he got done with the AT&T store, an hour later, he came up to the car. He's like, okay, where do you want to go to eat? I'm like, I don't know, like, where do you have anywhere like that you've been that I have never been that maybe we could try something new together? And he's like, oh, like I know this little Spanish spot. I'm Spanish, mind you, he's not. So I thought he was doing me a favor by taking me to a Spanish restaurant, which I am mad because, you know, I like me some acapulquias and some totones and some rice and pernil. Like, I'm happy. So after that, he goes, oh, we're gonna go back to my crib. And I was like, no, we're not. And you know what? I wish I would have said that like out loud to him. Like, no, we're not. I was stupid as hell. And we're driving and I'm like, why are we going to your house? He's like, oh, I just have to pick up something from my grandparents because I live with my grandparents. I'm like, oh, okay. So we went to the house. He brought me in. I met his grandparents. Now, this is the first date, all right? I was not expecting any of this. I thought maybe a movie. Let's go get some dinner. Let's go talk at a park. Like, I don't care, but like a date. Like, why the hell am I meeting this boy's family? And he's dodging bitch on our first date. Like, that's crazy. This is crazy. And I still didn't leave like a dumbass. Ladies, don't do what I did. Don't do it. We're at his grandparents' house and I'm sitting there. He's on his laptop like typing mad fast. He's like, and I'm just sitting there talking to his grandmother about Trump, who's on the news channel, and we're just discussing things like that. And I'm like wondering, like, what is he doing? So once his grandmother left the room, I kind of like went in back of him like, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you up to? Like, are we leaving? Are we staying here? Like, what's happening? He goes, hold on, I'm just texting my boys really quick. I'm like, oh, okay. That boy does not know this right now. I saw on the computer he was texting his girlfriend a freaking apology letter. An apology text. At that moment saying, baby, I'm so sorry. Don't listen to whatever this girl's name was. I just met this girl at the shop and we were just talking this, that, and the third. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I didn't say anything because I'm like, I'm in a stranger's house. I barely know this man from a freaking hole in the wall. I'm like, I just need to go home. So I tried playing the night out. So I talked to his grandmother for a couple hours. We were talking about like school and what I'm doing in school. Well, he's freaking MIA. I don't know where the hell this boy went. And I'm just sitting at his kitchen table with his grandma. But after that, he popped up into the kitchen with me and his grandmother. His conversation was just weird. Like, just a weird guy. Never again am I putting myself in this freaking situation. He's like, oh, let's go to the basement. I'm like, oh shit. And that's where his room was. His room was in the basement of his grandparents' house. I know, corny, he's whack, blah, whatever. And we're sitting and he like puts a movie on. It was like Forgetting Sarah Marshall or something like that. Like a super sexual freaking movie. I was expecting much more out of this date, you guys. I promise. I was expecting so much more. And I'm sitting there like, he's, oh, you can sit on my bed. I'm like, okay. So I was just sitting on the corner, like right here. Like a corner of his bed. I was not on it. I was on the corner. He comes up to me and like starts like trying to kiss me, and I was like, oh no. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just not there yet. I'm not. I took my ass. I went to go sit on a stool that they had in the basement, and I sat my ass there and I watched a movie with my hands crossed on my knees. And he's like, oh, what's wrong? I literally said this out loud to him. I'm like, this is not what I had expected. I'm like, you got a girlfriend? Do you not have a girlfriend? Like, I just want to go home. He's like, oh, well, all right. Well, I could bring you home. I don't know how the hell I got home safely. Thank God he wasn't a dangerous man, because I made some very bad decisions. So he brings me home. End of the story, right? That date is over. I said I'm never speaking to this boy again. I don't want to do anything with him. Nope. Worst date of my life. Actually, if y'all watch my other video, I'll link it right here. That was the worst date ever, but this one, number 2. Close number 2. A couple weeks pass, whatever. I get a Facebook message from a girl, and I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit, she's coming for me. And in the message it said like she was on some, hi, like I don't know who you are, but I don't know why my friends are telling me that my man was with you, and my man's telling me now that you're just some chick he met at the store. So what were you doing with my man? Why were you so close up on him? And I'm like, oh, pump your brakes, sis. I had to tell her, like, I met this boy at school. I'm like, you must go to school with us, and I'm sorry we had to meet this way, but he pursued me. I had nothing to do with this. And she kept getting like really hostile from there. She's like, well, I just don't understand. He says he didn't do anything, so what the hell? Why were you so close to my man? My best friend said they saw you guys so close up on each other and you guys leaving together. So what was that all about? And I'm like, Lord, get me straight. And I ended up telling her, look, I apologize. This is something you have to talk about with him. I had nothing to do with this. I was the innocent person in this party. I ended up meeting his grandparents. Like, this wasn't the date that I wanted. I didn't know that we were gonna go to the Apple store. Like, I'm so sorry that he played you. She ended up being nice about it after. She's like, oh, well, you know, thank you for responding. I have to deal with this issue with him now. I gotta figure this out. And I'm like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Because you ain't gonna attack me, because this is that man's problem. And he's a freaking hazard. This man is a hazard bringing girls into his basement. Guys, I could never be a side chick. It takes too much effort, takes too much lies, and it's not even like exciting. I don't know what's exciting about being a side chick. It wasn't for me. I didn't even know I was walking into that. But damn. Shout out to all the side chicks out there, because y'all doing the most. Y'all are doing the most. That's my other story time. I don't know why my story times seem to be about my dates, but that's what they're turning out to be like. And so far, Lord, I've only had 2 really bad dates. The first one and this one. And it's funny because they both like happened when I was like super vulnerable. So girls, vulnerability is the enemy. Don't fall into the vulnerability little triangle, because it ain't fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my story time. You know, if I got one thing to say, don't be a side chick. Don't be a side piece. If you're a dude, don't do it. Don't do it. Leave the person alone. Leave them alone. Go find your own, period. It's not fun. It's too much drama. Thank you guys for coming and watching my video. I hope you loved it, and if you loved it so much, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and if you've ever encountered a side chick situation, I would like to know about that. So please comment down below, and maybe we could discuss some things and kind of laugh about it together. Okay, bye.